Buenos dias, mi amiga, amigos. Good morning. Ohio gozaimasu. Another day with Dr. Mom. Wow, I'm a little tired today. I'll have to be honest. I don't know. I think I've been working really hard on my house project, my kitchen remodel. I'm putting the flooring down right now, and it's mostly easy now that I understand how to make the pieces work together, but I don't know, it seems a little draining. Oh well, anyway, nice to see everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am. I've already been to the gym and worked out, and I'm full of energy. Doing well. So today I was at the gym and I was thinking, because I think because at times it does get a little lonely being single. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, what is it that fulfills us? What is this that makes us satisfied? Because it shouldn't be another person, right? You should be completely happy without having another person, in my opinion, or that's what they tell me. Part of me thinks that, the other part is like, yeah, but good old Adam, boy, he needed it. God knew he needed to help me. He needed someone to level him out, to level the playing field, to keep him in check, per se. So I don't know. I just started thinking, and I'm like, why? Some days it's fine. I'm getting better and better. Other days it's a little rough. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, what does fulfill us anyway? My first indication was, well, we were born. What were we born? What were we born for? What is life about, right? What's the meaning of life? All of those things. And I feel like it's definitely to keep moving forward and to develop ourselves and to become the best we can. Why do I feel that way? We were born with a purpose. I think so. I think we talked about that. What was it? To find love and abundance and deep meaning of life, serving others, things like that. And so my own personal belief is that we were with God before we came to this life. We're here to, maybe like the quote said yesterday, move mountains so other people can know they can be moved, serve others, things like that. It seems like it. It seems like we're also driven to become better people. At least I am. It seems like, I want my life to be better, so my kids' life will be better, so other people's lives to be better. So out of that, what fulfills us? So I've got to read my quotes for the day, because that's what I'm all about, is finding quotes. Lately, anyway, I don't know if I think I've always liked quotes. Here we go. This is one of them I really liked. Again. And it kind of went with what I was thinking about today. Because I have known despair, I value hope. Because I have tasted frustration, I value fulfillment. Because I have been lonely, I value love. That's Leonard Nimoy. Oh, Leonard Nimoy. I think he's from Star Trek. So what he's saying is, I've tasted frustration, so I value fulfillment. So I think what he's saying is fulfillment comes after frustration, right? And I guess you could say, being single and by myself, I guess I go through a lot of frustration. Definitely, you definitely get lonely. I don't think there's been times I guess I've felt a little bit of despair. But I feel like the longer you go, the better off you are, although it can be hard. So what he's saying is frustration, because he's tasted that, it made him value fulfillment. So, okay. I got a couple other ones too, but I wanted to, I just off the cuff wanted to make a list of what, without doing research, because I think oftentimes what we think of is sort of what's at the surface. You don't dig real deep at times when you're just answering, well, what's fulfillment? What for me is fulfillment? So I just kind of I put love, and with love comes family and things like that. So that's fulfilling. When you have those things, that's very fulfilling. I also put financial abundance as fulfilling, because I think you worked hard, which is my next one, work. Because I think when you worked real hard, on self-improvement, things like that, to get where you want to be, worked real hard at getting promoted and going into other jobs and things like that, then you receive financial abundance. Although I believe also that is from our Creator, right? Because it sure seems like some people have more financial abundance than others. So we have to understand why they get it. So some of the things I've heard lately, all the things I'm studying, is you have to live abundantly. So live like you're always going to have cash flowing in to take care of everything, instead of worrying all the time about it. And one way that I learned through my Unstoppable Influencer is to carry cash in your pocket or your wallet or whatever, purse, so that, and it does a real odd thing to you when you start doing that. I never used to carry any cash because I was always afraid that someone was going to steal it. And the one time they did steal my purse at the dog park when I left, I ended up leaving the window down because I was over at the park with my dogs and left my purse. And it was a dumb thing to do, but I was right there. Long story short, I only had $20 in it. So now I try to carry about 550 or so. It comes in handy, but you're supposed to carry enough that you have $100. If you decide sometime that you would like to just give somebody $100, it's pretty cool when you start doing that. It's a very good feeling to be able to give that money away that you have, and it is teaching you also to give. But what I've noticed, because by carrying money around in my purse, even when I go to the gym, it's kind of weird. I'm like, do I need a locker for and I'm always thinking, because I have this money in my wallet, right? Should I be locking it up? And that's my sort of not abundance thinking, I believe. So I'm not thinking I will always have money to replace it. So what I started thinking, instead of worrying about my money getting stolen or something, I'm like, well, if someone takes it, they probably need it. And then I'll just fill it with more. So that, I don't know, I kind of like that. I like the take on it. I like sort of the thoughts that go into it. And so that's kind of what I thought about financial abundance. So fulfilling, does helping others fulfill you? It does me. I think that's why I've always kind of like leadership and things. well, part of it is fulfilling to work with a team, especially a real dynamic team. Y'all just jive, and so I don't know if that's so much helping others as it's everyone's helping each other. But I guess being able to give money to someone who may I don't know, just need it for something at that moment, because I was like that at one time, right? So I guess you are helping others as well. Another one I put was spiritual awareness. So spiritual mindfulness, maybe that's the new word, right? Being mindful of your spirituality, being in the moment. But I think if we dug super deep, spirituality might be the one thing, if we develop it enough, to completely fulfill us. And I think that we were made for that. And I have a feeling, this is my thought. It's your very soul that is filled. And your spirit is what brings it into your soul. So I'm definitely not there yet, evidently. I feel like I have a long way to go. I have a lot of studying. I got a lot of meditation to go through. I still have a lot, but that's the one thing I really feel could fulfill us completely if we develop that enough, that we would have so much love to give others, they would be drawn to us, right? And I just don't think I'm there yet. I'm still working on it. Another one that I put is adventure. Adventure is very fulfilling to me. It's sort of like a new thrill, a new way to learn, things like that. But some of those things I feel are a little bit superficial on the surface. To really get major fulfillment, I think you have to really develop your spirituality and your soul, which I have a long way to go. I put another one is physical fitness. I really like working out. I'll be honest, it makes my day. And so when I do that, I'm fulfilled, at least for the day, and I'm fulfilled because I've completed my goal for the day. I don't know that like when you're building your foundation and you're feeding that tree that needs all this living water, I really think it's your spirituality that you have to develop completely to really have it fed and fully developed. So, and then I also put eating right. That's another, I think, superficial fulfillment. There's the daily things that we do to fulfill us, to fulfill our life. Maybe it's even just doing hobbies that make you happy, but it seems fulfilling to me in ways too. It's not going to take place of that core, your soul, that core soul inside of you that needs to be nourished to the max. I feel like it needs to be just really nourished. And I'm trying to get there. I think another thing, well, okay, so I guess this goes to what do we have to do to fulfill us, right? I think one of the things we need to do is, self-improvement is continually study, whether it's the Bible or Bible studies or books or mentors on YouTube I have, and that helps me a lot every day. And I thought about it yesterday too. I'm like, I always like to have it going while I'm doing my flooring now, and I like to have whatever I'm working on the house. I have usually YouTube going. Yesterday I was watching these comedians, and I think they were it seemed like England, but I tell you, I was just sorry. Oh gosh, I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. And the Joe Rogan Experience, he's hilarious. He's hilarious. Some of the people on there. And I found that laughter fulfilled me, that it helped me. I'm like, I like laughing. It's pretty cool. It's very fulfilling. So that's another thing that I kind of liked. Laughter. Nothing like the laughter of a baby. Oh my goodness, or children, or all of those things. That's very fulfilling too. There's just certain things in life that just fill you up, aren't they? Okay, so then I went on to find what others said about being fulfilled and what they think about it. And I kind of went to quotes. I'm not gonna lie. I love them. So I just made a list. I'm not gonna read them all, but I made a list out of their quotes. I took wording out of some quotes just to see what they thought inner fulfillment was. Okay, so inner fulfillment. So this was a good one. This was Tony Robbins. Who doesn't like him, right? Oh my gosh, he's awesome. So what he says, and his quote was quite a bit longer, but he says sincere and selfless contribution. That's pretty cool. And I could see where he's at, why he thinks that way. And it's probably how he got that way. Like he just started giving to others and contributing. And so to him, where he's at, that's what it feels like, sincere and selfless contribution. And I hope to one day completely feel that. And I think I will. I think I'm heading that way. Okay, the next one is appreciation of life. And I know there was one that they were talking about, stop looking for being fulfillment in other ways, but look at your own life and be thankful for the things you have in it already at where you're at, and that will fulfill you. And I try to do that every day. Like I try to be thankful every day for what I have. But I don't know, sometimes I just don't feel like I've reached my place yet. Which I don't know that that's a bad thing, though. I think for us always to be striving to make ourselves better is a good thing. And maybe when I get to that place where Tony Robbins is at, where he says sincere and selfless contribution, maybe I'll say, oh, now I need to do this. I'm not totally fulfilled. So I don't know, maybe life is more like, maybe it's more about never reaching that moment of total fulfillment because we're always trying to improve on ourselves. And maybe that moves. So what you think is inner fulfillment now, when you get to that place, maybe it moves and you're like, okay, now I have to do this to get inner fulfillment. I don't know. It seems like I'm always striving to do more, right? So, let's see. So this next one is, they said the thrill of the chase and the magic of the moment. I kind of like that one because I do like adventure. And that reminds me of adventure, the magic of the moment. So the thrill of the chase and the magic of the moment. It also reminds me of the cute guy at the gym that I get to flirt with. The thrill of the chase and the magic of the moment. Okay, do great work. So I did put work as well. Do great work and love what you do. That's Steve Jobs. And I know, that is pretty fulfilling. Your work can be, right? Your work can be very fulfilling, but I've been at times that it wasn't very fulfilling. So do great work and love what you do. So I guess by him saying that, he's saying maybe you should analyze your work. If it's not great and you don't love what you do, maybe you need to move forward and move on to something else. Maybe that's it. Okay, so this one is climb the mountain to see the world. And they went on to say, I remember in that one, climb the mountain to see the world. Don't climb it to tell others about it, I think is what it was saying. And the one I read, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, it was move the mountain to show others it can be moved. And I really like that. I like it a lot. So climb the mountain to see that it can be climbed. Kind of reminds me a little bit of my Going Mobile series that's coming up. Okay, hard work. Hard work is the next one, and that's the same thing, working at your job or whatever it is. Education. And I honestly agree to that to a certain point. Education did fill me up, although it's frustrating as well. But I think it filled me up in my brain, and my brain was like, it kind of thrilled me. I was learning new things, learning about myself, able to share it with others, moving forward. This had this really crazy, cool, what do I want to say, where you're moving, evolving thing. I don't know that it was fulfilling my soul, though. I don't, it did. Like, it was very fulfilling, and it changed me profoundly as a individual. That's Noam Chomsky who wrote that. And it changed my life for the better. But here now, I'm 20 years into education, have a doctorate, and I'm still looking for fulfillment. So maybe that's what I meant when you get to a level and you think you're out. Maybe we're always striving for fulfillment. Maybe we're always going to be, no matter, maybe that's a good thing, right? Okay, so Eckhart Tolle says the treasure within. And that's what I was kind of saying earlier as well. I heard another quote on that. So the treasure within. And I think, that's a lot about our spirituality and learning to develop it. Because I don't know that everybody works at developing your spirituality. And I think I just keep going towards meditation to see if that will help me develop my spirituality and my soul, and just really get in touch with the treasure within. Because I've heard from a lot of people that it's really good for us as individuals. Number 10 is being in control of your direction. Deborah Day. Being in control of your direction. So that's good. I think that kind of goes along with finding your road. So being in control of your direction, which I like that, because that's a lot about moving forward, isn't it? By working on your foundation and your goal setting and self-improvement, you really are staying in control of your direction, which direction you're going. Number 11 is pursuit of service. That's Philip Yancey. That's the same thing with, I believe that's a lot of what Tony Robbins was saying. I got to go to one of his events. I have heard so much good about his events. They must be just incredible, is what I've heard from a lot of people. And number 12 is giving full attention to the process of living. That's Satish Kumar. Giving full attention to the process of living. That's mindfulness, isn't it? Sort of being mindful of the moment that you're in, instead of sort of going out ahead of yourself, which I've lived my whole life. Giving full attention to the process of living. That's a good one too. Okay, so now I got a quote from the Dalai Lama. I thought it was really good too. People take different roads seeking fulfillment and happiness. Just because they're not on your road doesn't mean they've gotten lost. That's the Dalai Lama. I thought that was a good one too. It goes back to not judging others, doesn't it? Not judging others for what they do, for the road that they take that you don't maybe understand. Okay, I downloaded a little article. It's the 10 Commandments of Finding Fulfillment in Your Life. So he gives an example of a helium balloon floating on air. And he says if we could only be as fulfilled as this balloon, we'd be floating on air, right? So Bradley Jared, looks like, says, I've come to believe that happiness really is 100% internal. I believe this because people with very little are sometimes 10 times happier than those with everything. I believe this because some people just look at everything through a brighter lens and find happiness in a seemingly bad situation, while others will stare at the negativity. Well, that's what I was saying. I think it's 100% internal too. And I think if we can find a way to really tap into our spirituality that connects to our soul, I think we could become 100% internal. And my thoughts are the meditation and things like that can only make you maybe tap into some of that. Fulfillment, on the other hand, is a bit different. Okay, so he's saying happiness and fulfillment are different things. If you like me, you live in the United States, you don't concern yourself with third world issues like where your next meal will come from and if bombs will drop on our homes in the middle of the night. It's quite amazing how fortunate I am and all Americans are. True. That's a good reminder, isn't it? Even the less fortunate homeless in the US have more safety, security, and services than in many other parts of the world. We really do need to be more happy and mindful about that. We're fortunate enough to have climbed halfway up from Maslow's hierarchy of needs quite easily, covering all the necessities to survive with only a few layers to concern ourselves with for us to thrive. Living a fulfilling life is to thrive. So, living a fulfilling life is to thrive. We all want fulfillment, but I feel very few people ever achieve a life of fulfillment. See, that's even looking at it a different way. Achieving a life of fulfillment constantly, right? So once again, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, he has sort of this pyramid, and what he says is people move up this pyramid depending on where they're at. Once their main needs are met, then they move up this pyramid. So their psychological needs are food and shelter and water and things like that is the first level. And when your basic needs are met, you're able to go to the next level. The next level is safety. So when our safety needs are met, then we can go up to love and belonging. And then once love and belonging is met, then we go up to esteem, and then finally self-actualization, where we're just really at peace. And I think if we do it right, maybe that's where we're fulfilled. But I also realize oftentimes, just like the cycle of grief, we have to go back down and start over again. So that's what happened. When my husband passed away, I feel like I went and started that pyramid over again. Like my basic needs at that point were a little scary, and my safety definitely scared me. Love and belonging was knocked out of the realm, So I was knocked back down and had to sort of get back in again. And so I'm working my way up again. So from the research this gentleman's done on elderly people and patients on their deathbeds, as well as listening and reading hundreds of articles and podcasts, I come up with my own 10 commandments for achieving fulfillment. These are not in any particular order, just truths I have found from those that have lived a lot longer and deeper than me. So his first one, regret and fulfillment cannot coexist. I agree with that because I feel like to move forward in your life, you really have to, well, I have had to anyway, analyze where you're at, and if something's holding you back, like regret's a big one. You need to somehow let it go, but I know it sort of likes to hang on, but he's saying you can't be fulfilled if you're hanging on to regret, right? Very few things are as detrimental to our sense of fulfillment than regret. It's pretty common knowledge at this point. I feel that the younger generation understands this far better than older generations. The world is our playground, especially if living in a first world country. Travel is easier and more affordable than ever. Jobs and revenue streams are more diverse and mobile than ever. Very true. It's an incredible time to be alive. To know that people can make a living doing what they love, travel the world freely, be gay, transgender, weird, etc., and still succeed on a high level in many parts of the world was unheard of until now. The flip side of a new era of living is that there is much to do and much regret to have if we don't take advantage of it. We all have different dreams and goals and struggles with making decisions because there are always trade-offs to weigh. For me, the deathbed test is the greatest decision-making solution I have used. I simply imagine myself on a hospital bed at 100 years old, mentally going through this point in my life in my head and ask myself if I regretted not going through with that opportunity. Obviously, we never know the exact route any decision will take us beforehand, but seeing life as a journey of experiences from that deathbed scenario gives me more clarity in avoiding regret. So he's more saying some adventure you could have went on and you didn't. I agree. But sometimes it's not always easy to remind yourself you're in the right place. It's sometimes hard to see that. So fear is the second one. Fear will rob your life. Don't be like this guy. Put on some pants. Put on some big girl jeans. That didn't sound good. Big girl jeans. Not mom jeans. This ties back into regret. Most regret comes from some sort of fear. Overcoming our fears is one of the most profound and liberating feelings in the world. Fear truly is a crippler. When we make decisions out of fear, we are severely limiting our fulfillment in life. This could be, and probably will be, a whole separate article. Just know that if you're operating in a fear-based mentality, you're hurting yourself immensely, and learning how to overcome this will be necessary to live your best life. So fear, I think, goes along with vulnerability as well, and moving forward is scary, isn't it? Especially if we're moving into uncharted territory. Putting ourselves out there, being vulnerable. It's kind of hard to do that, but it's very rewarding if you do. Comfort is overrated. I feel like too many people chase comfort. If you want a comfortable life, that's fine. You just can't have a fulfilling one. A fulfilling one requires outgoing discomfort because it requires you to face challenges, new opportunities, and continually learn. It's called getting out of your comfort zone. Show me one fulfilled person who didn't get out of their comfort zone. I don't believe a single person exists. That's like these doing what I'm doing now. It's definitely out of my comfort zone. I mean, I don't know what I'm it's hard to figure out what I'm doing or if it's going to work, or I keep believing I'm doing the right thing. and that it's going to take off. So I keep moving forward one day at a time, outside of my comfort zone. Do not ignore your intuition. We have an intuition for a reason. I'll be honest, I don't know a damn thing about how it works on a scientific level. I don't know that I feel in alignment with myself, and when I listen to it, doesn't mean that I am always right. But I feel better when I acknowledge what it's telling me. And sometimes getting out of your comfort zone, you're definitely following your intuition and instincts that you should be going in a certain direction. Success is subjective. I just really like this. Here's a common problem in society. We are ingrained at a young age what success is, who we're supposed to marry, what career we're supposed to have, what vehicle we're supposed to drive, what we're supposed to do in our spare time, and how we should live our lives. The idea of success is very objective for many Americans. This is the reason so many people have everything they should have and are absolutely miserable. The truth is that success is 100% subjective. The sooner you realize this, the closer to fulfillment you will be. If you want to be a swinger, then be a swinger. Yikes. I don't know what that means. If you love cleaning and want to be a janitor or sanitary engineer or whatever, then do it. There are millions of lawyers, doctors, and salesmen receiving huge paychecks every 2 weeks. They can't figure out what went wrong as they gulp down a pair of antidepressants. You know, that's interesting because this, when I think it was, I don't remember who I was watching again. I need to write that down. But I watch YouTube just about every day. Oh, sorry. Oh, I must really be tired today. I feel tired. But what I was listening to, goodness, I can't think of who it was for some reason, but they were talking about, I couldn't believe the amount of people that they said they knew and they've also done who's on antidepressants. How the world, most people turn to that nowadays. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I was just a little surprised, I guess, that that's so true. You must decide what a successful life is for you. Screw what everyone else thinks. It's not worth sacrificing your fulfillment for their approval. You were born with gifts for a reason. We talked about gifts yesterday, didn't we? Talked about gifts and talents. Don't deny your gifts. We're all X-Men, but not as cool. We're all different. We're all different. Some people love painting, others love running. Some people even like baseball. I'll never understand that. Whatever it is, we all work wonderfully together in this perfectly chaotic world. Justin Bieber wouldn't have the ability to annoy billions of adults and woo millions of preteen girls if it weren't for the passion and talents of the creators of YouTube, where JB was discovered, the business skills of his agent, Scooter Braun, who discovered him, and the thousands of stylists, producers, crews, etc. that piece together every tour and single that talented little misguided star does. When you deny your gifts to pleasing your family, you are doing a disservice to yourself and the world. What if Albert Einstein's parents pressured little Al to become a lawyer? I'd be writing this on paper for no one to read. Giving back is the only way to maximize fulfillment. We've heard that numerous times. Giving back. This is such a hidden little secret. It's so corny and cheesy, and damn, I'm getting hungry, but it's cliche to talk about giving back. Turns out giving back is the epitome of feeling valuable to the world. No matter how much wealth you have, if you die and people's lives would go on as usual soon after, you haven't done enough. To live a completely fulfilling life, you must make the most profound impact you can. That can be being the best spouse, parent, neighbor, and volunteer. Your ego is your greatest enemy. I truly believe that our egos can be great for achieving particular goals, but detrimental to our fulfillment overall. That's interesting, isn't it? I can see where that can be true, because when I studied a little bit of Sigmund Freud, and he talks about the I, the ego, and the superego, he's talking about our own negative self-talk, and it seems like we're doing that. So that's the ego, and it can be our greatest enemy. I totally agree with that. An inflated ego keeps us from strengthening our relationships, pursuing our dreams, and getting ahead in life. Ego is the reason you won't admit when you're wrong, the reason you chase money instead of passion, and the reason so many people feel insecure. Yeah, for sure, that voice that's always telling us bad things. Eliminating this excess ego that doesn't serve you is one of the most powerful steps you can take to raising your self-awareness and living your most abundant life. There are thousands of resources on this. Just meditating 5 to 10 minutes per day is a great start. See, there it is, meditating again. Boy, I always come back to that. I gotta get doing it. Nothing can replace your relationships. At the end of our life, nothing will matter more than our relationships. I agree with that. And I also believe what we do to nurture those relationships, what we do to make them better and to serve others, through relationships. Even now at 31, I can't believe how much closer I feel to my childhood friends. I can only imagine how much they will mean to me in another 20, 30, 50 years. Which I discovered on Facebook doing my 100 videos. My childhood friends, it was so cool. We got a lot closer. Money will come and go. Trends will come and go. There will be good times and bad times. That's all inevitable. Nothing compares to the people on the journey of life that are with you, and they're perhaps the only thing that you can see on the other side. Very true. The world is a place filled with people, animals, and a planet to learn from. The connection between humans and animals is highly underrated. I totally agree with that. My pets are everything. They've helped me through so much stuff. We live in an extraordinary world. Very few people realize it. We take everything for granted, myself included. When was the last time you flew in a plane and you were in utter disbelief that the 800,000 pound object that flies hundreds of miles per hour in the air while you casually munch on peanuts and ketchup on House of Cards? It's insane. If you're like me, you constantly looking to make more money, save time, and just create a better and more fulfilled life via the methods society presses upon us. Instead, I have found that it is far more fulfilling to see every moment and every day as a learning experience that I can draw from. Just reading through that, I was thinking about flying on planes, how, like he's saying, it's this 800,000 pound object flying hundreds of miles with hundreds of people in the air. Sometimes I think about that and I'm like, how are we staying up? I don't like thinking that way. Okay, it's incredible how more optimistic and enlightened you become when you expect nothing from the world but a brief moment of experiencing and learning. I know this sounds a bit hippie, but you will be pleasantly surprised how complete you feel when you start looking at life through the learning lens. Self-awareness is everything. Explore thyself to know thyself. None of this matters if we don't know ourselves. We can try to implement these 10 commandments, but if we aren't aware of our own strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, mindsets, triggers, personalities, we can never fully get there. If there's one takeaway, it would be for you to soul search at least 3 to 4 times per year. Take an afternoon off from work and go into nature, a quiet park, or a bench. Turn your phone off and start jotting down anything you think of yourself, your career, your relationships, your struggles, and success. For every answer, ask yourself, why? Why do I think I'm succeeding? Why do I think I am struggling? Why do I think these aspects of my life are important and other aspects aren't? You're being your own therapist, and it is the best way I've found to get on track to finding your authentic self, to following the 10 commandments of finding fulfillment and living a complete life. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I think everything that we get out of it, though, is, I feel, even what he says there, I think it really comes back to somehow making a spiritual connection, really developing your spiritual connection, really developing your soul to get really cool fulfillment. And actually, I think even some of that is going to retreats. I'd like to go to a few retreats just to see if I can make some connections. Trapped emotions. That's another way. How do we free our trapped emotions if that's what's holding us back? Because probably if I'm not totally fulfilled, something has been holding me back, and I need to really discover what it is. So I think that's also another one is, and I think there's a lot of retreats on that, and just studying, learning to understand who we are. So my goodness, I think that's it for today. I can't believe how tired. I don't know why I'm so tired, but I'm just very tired. Maybe I didn't have all my coffee yet for some reason. It is April 8th already. Whew. Crazy how fast April's already. Oh my goodness. I am with you and for you, your constant companion and provider. The question is whether you are with me and for me. Though I never leave you, you can essentially leave me. Okay. Though I never leave you, you can essentially leave me by ignoring me, thinking or acting as if I'm not with you. When you feel distant in our relationship, you know where the problem lies. My love for you is constant. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. It is you who change like shifting sand, letting circumstances toss you this way and that. When you feel far from me, whisper my name. This simple act, done in childlike faith, opens your heart to my presence. Speak to me in love tones. Prepare to receive my love, which flows eternally from the cross. I am delighted when you open yourself to my loving peace. Genesis 28:15, Romans 8:31, and Hebrews 13:8. That was a devotion for today. You know when I'm running out of things to say when I read the devotion, because sometimes it's kind of hard when you get up and you're like, okay, bring me something to talk about today that's interesting and profound and enlightening. Oh, okay. And I'm so tired. For some reason, I got a lot to do. A lot to do still, but I'm almost done with my living room and my flooring. And then it should start getting easier. Then after that, I can start studying some books and doing research and things. I think that's going to help. Okay, with that, I say adios, my amigos and amigas. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the sunshine if you got some. Love your family. Develop your spirituality so we can get fulfilled, huh? That's what I'm going to work on again. Okay, much love to all of you. Have a super day. It's almost Friday tomorrow. Goodness.